an idea of how to pipe some shamrocks onto your cakes. Once you have your cake with buttercream on top of it, you can use a cookie cutter, if you happen to have a shamrock cookie cutter, just to imprint the shape of a shamrock. But did you ever notice that a shamrock is actually 3 hearts? Makes it look like a shamrock. So if you have a heart cookie cutter, you could just use the heart cookie cutter to make the leaves of the shamrock. Just imprint onto your buttercream with 3 hearts. You'll be able to see this once I start piping. But if you don't have a heart cookie cutter, you could just draw it. You could just draw it with a toothpick. Just make 3 hearts. And one on the side like that. Once I start piping this, you'll be able to see it. So I have some buttercream, some green buttercream in here. This is a tip 3, and the 1s to 12s are your circle tips. The smaller the number, the smaller the opening. So 3 is kind of small, so you don't want to overfill your bag because you have to have a lot of pressure on there to get it out of a smaller tip. So don't overfill your bag. Make sure you can wrap your hand around there to get a nice even pressure. So I'm just going to pipe around, nice even pressure. We'll pipe around. We'll just do an outline on these hearts. A little outline on the next one. And we're going to fill it in with some stars. It's just a nice even pressure. So I'm off the surface a little bit. I'm not dragging. I'm just kind of letting it flow down, just a hair off the surface. So now I'm going to go to another bag with a tip 18. This is a star tip. It's different size star tips. 18 is like a medium size star tip. You can use any of the sizes just to fill in. We're just going to use it to fill in. So just hold that and just let the tips squeeze, let the frosting just squeeze out of that tip. Don't keep squeezing when you pull it away. Just hold it still and squeeze and stop the pressure before you pull it away. Because if you keep that pressure on when you pull it away, you're going to have like what they call a pulled star. It's going to have a big pull to it. You want nice flat stars on this particular design. So just squeeze, stop the pressure before you pull it away. Squeeze, stop, pull it away. And just fill it in nice and full. You can even do stars on top of stars if you end up having like a little space. Just overlap them. Do some stars in between so that you have it all nice and filled in. Then I'm going to show you how to do the stem. So now I'm going to go back to that tip 3. We'll do the stem. Now on a shamrock, the stem on the down here on the bottom is usually thicker than it is when it goes in. It gets thin. It's really hard to pipe from thin to thick. It's much easier to pipe from thick to thin. So start on the outside, pipe really, really, really thick, and then come in thin. And then you'll have the shamrock where it's thick and then you get thinner as you come in. And that makes it look more like the shamrock with the thick at the end. So let's try the one over here that I drew. You're going to use a bigger, this is tip 12, the circle tip, tip 12. This is just a different way that you can do it. You can do different sizes too. If you want little tiny, tiny ones, use a smaller tip. This one, I'm just going to hold that tip 12 sideways. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Let it squeeze out and then ease the pressure off slowly as you bring it to a point. Just let the tip bury in the frosting. Now slowly bring it to a point. Build it up thick, thick, thick. Slowly bring it down to a point. Let it bury itself in the frosting and bring it down. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Bring it to a point. And then I'm angling each, almost like you're doing the bumps of the heart. You have to angle out and angle again to the other side. Now we're going to come in with that little tip 3 again. Nice and thick. It's easier to go thick and thin. So some ways that you can do some shamrocks today, either on cookies or a cake, whatever you're doing. Share what you're doing.